Welcome back to the show. Julian De Stoop and Adam Cooney with you. Let's hope the weather's a little bit better on Saturday than it was today. If you're just joining us, the Geelong Cup unfortunately postponed. It'll be run tomorrow due to high winds down in Geelong. Head down to the Valley this weekend, of course, for Australia's best 24 hours of racing with the Ladbrokes Gold Cup on Friday night and Saturday's Ladbrokes Cox Plate. One man that will be there, and his role as one of the ambassadors for the Cox Plate is Collingwood star Jordan De Goey, who joins us in the studio. G'day, Jordan.
G'day, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure.
Well, how long do you have left in footy?
Still got a couple of years at the Pies. I'm sure everyone was questioning what was going on there.
We'll get into that, yeah. Don't worry. But, we won't leave that one.
Yeah, definitely another couple more, and then hopefully a few more after that. So
beautiful. Well, it is...
Good segue, hey?
Great segue.
Yeah, it has, yeah. Well, no, thank you for that. Set it up. Half volley outside off stump. Well, it is a big period in here. We, over the trade... period at Trade Radio on SEN, we just about bring up every player in the AFL, and some of it gets squashed pretty quickly. But your name was brought up on a number of occasions. Rumours, innuendo. Obviously, you would have heard about it. Can you just give us an insight into what happened over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so for me, I was actually in Bali with my partner. So to be honest, I didn't really hear a lot of it. Heard, a few little whispers here and there, and I think after Cornsey came out and said I'd be a good trade target, the thing just grew legs and started running. So after that, it was on for young and old. But for us, we maintained the same answer the whole time. We're happy at Collingwood. Nothing seems to be changing from our end, and the club were exactly the same. So
did they actually contact you and ask what's going on here?
Yeah, like Lepper said, he came out because my manager started getting calls and. For Lepper, he was like, is this happening? Is this happening? Are you going to other clubs? And we're like, nah, none of this is happening. Oh. This is just the rumour mill. And like I said, once, a few people start talking, everyone seems to start talking.
Yeah,
so.
You're just at Potato Head enjoying a binge, not knowing what's going on.
Pretty much.
So did you sort of scratch your head? I mean, because the suggestion was, the reports were that Collingwood and Jordan, they're open. If the offer's good enough, that they'll listen to it. When that got relayed back to you, what's your first thought?
To be honest, I'm 29 now. I'm not stupid. I think any player on a list is available if it's for the right price or the club's going to get something good out of it. So for me, I just know that's the way the industry's going. You got to be open to stuff like that happening because it's happening so much these days. You've just seen at the recent trade period some of the players that got tossed around. So for me. My whole footy journey, you're always open to offers and everything like that. You'd be silly not to. But in this case, I'm quite happy at Collingwood. You know what I mean? I don't really see my future anywhere else, especially at this particular time. So for me, it was pretty simple.
It's been pretty tough the last couple of years on the body, and you got it right by the end of the season. But how do you reflect on the 2 years it's been since the flag?
Yeah, for sure. It's been super frustrating. Obviously, coming off such a good year in 2023, winning the Premiership and stuff like that. The last two have been really tough and really frustrating. But like you said, we managed to get the body going towards the later half of the year and played, showed some glimpses of what I can do. So for me, it's just about having good pre-season this year and hitting the ground running next year.
So everything okay off-season wise? You've been doing, enough training? The body's okay? No surgery or anything like that?
Nah, no surgery.
That's good.
Just got to stay on top of some of the niggling injuries. I'm sure you've gone through it. There's some injuries that, won't ever go away, and that's part of football. So for me, it's just about staying on top of that and maintaining my fitness so that I never drop off again.
Jordan De Goey's joined us in studio. He's one of the ambassadors for the Ladbrokes Cox Plate this weekend. Listening to Craig McRae later in the year, it sounded like there was times he thought you might not even get back this year or, not get back to your best. How sort of dicey was it at times this year?
Yeah, it was pretty dicey. It was kind of no time frame, you could say, as to when it was going to get better. It was just, continue to do these exercises, then over time the pain should drop and you should feel like you're progressing. And so for me, it took a while there, and like I said, there was no end game. So I didn't know what was going to happen, and then finally overnight kind of thing, it started to change, and from then on I started to build my fitness, get back into the footy drills, and then we could start focusing on actually playing. So it was pretty dicey there.
It wasn't a huge trade period for the Pies. A few delistings, obviously Myercheck leaving to go to the D's. Buller coming in from Sydney. Does that give you, or give us a reasonable sense that the Pies can be in that premiership window again next year?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think, if you do look at our list as players we've got and everything like that and what we've been able to show, obviously, this year, obviously not quite getting there, but getting close enough. Hopefully we can obviously go a couple steps better next year. But I think, they talk about our age and everything like that, but it also comes down to experience, especially in finals time. Yeah. So for us, if we can play some decent footy through home away, I think that extra finals experience will definitely help.
Yeah, and you're talking about 29, 30 next year. It's not that old now. I mean, we're seeing players. I mean, you've seen it firsthand, playing into mid-30s to late 30s. With your situation and where you've been over the last couple of years, if you're fully fit, what do you think your mid-forward split will be over the next couple?
Yeah, I'm sure over time it's probably going to decrease, obviously, with that midfield time. But I definitely still think, like you've seen what Jamie's been able to do in that forward role this year, there's still an opportunity down there in a similar sort of position. So for me, it's obviously trying to play through the midfield as much as possible while I can at this particular age. And then over time, that's going to decrease, probably spending a bit more time in the forward line. But
50 or 60 goals when you're permanent forward, when you're 34 would be nice.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. But yeah, we've got some fantastic players coming through the midfield. So obviously at some stage, I'm going to make way for them. Obviously, that's what happens. A fresh, exciting new talent gets thrown in there and create some excitement, and I'll probably spend a bit more time forward, but whatever the team needs me to do.
With the way you play, explosive sort of way you play, do you feel like even when your body's up and going, you're sort of player that's going to have to be managed 2 or 3 times in a year? Or do you feel like you can get to a stage where you can play? No, he's not old, but the way he plays the body, or can you just play like up until last year, Scott Pendlebury just plays week in, week out, or is that not possible with the way you play in your body?
Yeah, it's a bit hard. Obviously, you put a little bit more strain throughout your body if you're an explosive player, and at times, you are going to get niggles here and there, and they will probably have to be managed. That's just the way the game goes. But yeah, I wish I was a Scott Pendlebury clone. That would be grouse. I could just run around having 30 every week and play till I'm 60. So, for me, obviously, yeah, I just got to stay on top of my body. I think that's the main thing. Just doing all the little basic things, recovery, keep pre-injury exercises, doing all those sort of things.
So reading between the lines, Jordan doesn't think that Scott Pendlebury is an explosive player.
No, that's right. He's a plotter.
I think Scott, would be on my side in me being able to say that. I think I've known him for long enough now. But you know what? You watch him play, I don't think he needs any explosiveness. He's got that much time. It's ridiculous.
It's worked out pretty well for him. Do you still love the game? Are you still passionate about the game? Because, I know going through injuries, you're in rehab, it's a very lonely place at times. It can, grind away mentally. Are you still in a position? And we've seen and we hear players now, so many of them say they have a period where they fall out of love with the game. The scrutiny is higher than ever. Us peanuts carry on in the media, more than ever. Do you still have a passion and love for the game?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, over time, you come in as an 18-year-old, you think, everything's great in the world. This is amazing, best job ever. And then, you do go through patches like what you spoke about. But for me, I feel like I'm in a period of my life where, footy is still really what I want to do. And I feel like I still got many good years left in me. So for me, it's kind of just like a refreshing period, continue to enjoy my football, and obviously, as you know, when that dies down, that'll be the last game you ever play. So for me, I still feel like I've got a few more years of really enjoying the game. I love the footy club, love the boys, so I couldn't really see myself doing anything else.
How do you cope after a prelim final loss? Are you the sort of guy that just switches off footy after that? Does it play on your mind for a while? How do you just sort of handle it this year?
Yeah, to be honest, I pretty much switched off. I think, we're all quite disappointed in the performance we put up against Brisbane. It's upsetting at times, and then there's a period that you just need to get over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's died. We did lose a game, and obviously it was a big game, but you kind of count your blessings that everyone's healthy and ready to go for next season. So for me, I'll use that as motivation for this pre-season going into next year, and like I said, hopefully we can go a couple better.
Does it ease the pain that you've won one, like you've been there before?
Tough question. I think, yeah, to an extent it does, but I feel like when you do lose, like when we did lose the prelim, it was almost, you're more grateful for winning. It's not so much it relieves all the pressure and, the pain and everything. I think it's more, you're even more grateful because you go through that journey realising how hard it is to actually get there, let alone just winning one. So, yeah, grateful is probably the word I'd use to describe that. But, yeah, it's still definitely hard.
What's it like winning a premiership? No, I want
You want to know?
Yeah. Obviously, you see the euphoria of the players, after the game, and then you see bits and pieces of them over the next few days. But can you just take me there, just inside, for like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, go to Wednesday. Just take us to Wednesday.
Okay. by Wednesday, you're not really thinking about the game. You're just thinking about surviving.
Just going to bed.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's a euphoric feeling. But I think the biggest thing for me was, like, I just didn't have a care in the world, because you've gone ever since a junior wanting to accomplish this goal, and then all of a sudden you've done it. So it's like I had nowhere to be. I've done everything I could possibly do. This is exactly what I wanted. And then you just party and enjoy the moment, and then reality kicks in when you go back the next year, and you're like, okay, shit, I've got to do this all over again, and this is over. So, it was obviously fantastic memories, something, I'll never forget and super grateful for. But, it's 2-time definitely sounds better than 1 time. So,
What about that prelim? A couple coming off our 40 wings temper here. You did cop a knock in the prelim at some stage. Did you sustain some sort of injury out of that?
No, I had a busted rib earlier in the season, just before that, and it kind of got me in the same rib again. So it just winded me, put me down for a few minutes. But other than that, I was fine. It was just more of a bad game. I'd put it down to that.
Sounds better if you say you played with 3 broken ribs.
Yeah, I would love to say that, but I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do that to myself.
Was it a bit of an unusual time towards the end of the year? Stalwarts like, Jamie Elliott's, considering his future. Brodie Mychek, Mason Cox has gone now. Tommy Mitchell has gone. Was it an unusual time with some of those stalwarts at the club that seemed they wanted to stay, but they had some real decisions to make?
Yeah, it is. It's tough, obviously, because they're good mates of mine, all of them. So, but unfortunately, this is the industry we're in. It's going to happen more and more. We've seen in trade periods some of the names getting thrown around these days. But, like I said, those, at the end of the day, the players have to do what's best for themselves, because, when we're not playing the best footy or we're not healthy or anything like that, the clubs are going to be the first one to get rid of us. So there's an aspect about, looking after your own backyard. And I think the day and age now, you've really got to start to.
Do you think most players have got their head around that now? Like what you said earlier, that no matter what you've done in the past, everyone's almost tradable.
Yep.
Do you think most players have got their head around that now?
I think the older players definitely would. I think that's for sure. The younger players, I don't think you need to focus on that. You're just enjoying the game and what's to come. But yeah, like for the older players, it's definitely something you need to wrap your head around, is being open to changes, different clubs, different scenery, new states, everything like that. So I think it's just going to get crazier and crazier, especially, with the mid-season draft and trading potentially in the future. So we'll see.
Speaking to you now, you seem like a really mature guy. You've been through
what do you say?
A little bit in the. When you look back on it, would you look back on yourself as a bit of a scallywag when you're a bit younger, or do you think you have been misunderstood at times?
Nah, I would probably call myself a scallywag. I wasn't the best of sorts back in the day, but to be honest, I was a kid who was thrust into people knowing who I was, having money, and just wanting to enjoy the nights out, thinking I was the king. And you get smacked down to reality pretty quickly, and then over time you do mature, and you understand what's required of you, and when you do something wrong, who you're hurting, and everything along those lines. So I still enjoy having a good time. Don't get me wrong. But I think I do it at the right times now.
Well, that's all about to end because you're expecting your first child.
Talk it down.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can speak on experience.
Yep. First child on the way, which is obviously super exciting. So obviously I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm not going to go out, and I'm just going to be a stay-at-home dad. So
well done.
When are we due?
December 4. So, not too long. I'm just shocked at the moment about how expensive baby items are and actually how much stuff you need to keep a baby alive. So I'm learning as I go, so is my partner, and we're just trying to make it work.
Do you want to let him in on a secret that it gets more expensive?
Oh, yes. As each year grows, so do the expenses. Till they turn 18, then you can cut them off.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. And before we let you go, have you got a tip for the Cox Plate?
Yeah, I'm going to go number 2, Antino. Obviously spent a bit of time with it in the photo shoot. It looked like a good horse, nice and strong. Great coat on it. I think that's what they say to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And I think it's second favourite. So there's still a bit of coin left in it. So that's my tip for the Cox Plate.
Any more trips planned before the baby comes, or are you here now?
No, I'm here now. I tried to actually get a New York trip across the line with a couple of mates, but the missus shot that down pretty quickly. So
not a great surprise.
Maybe Hobart or something.
Yeah.
New York's a bit of a stretch.
I was pushing it. I thought I'd go bold at the start and then work my way back. But no trips for me. definitely staying around town ready to go.
Yeah, good stuff. Jordan, thanks for coming in. Enjoy the weekend and good luck with what's to come with your little girl in December.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.